Do you have pain or stiffness in your chest area after a breast cancer surgery? I sure did. This is really common after a lumpectomy or a mastectomy, and even more common when you add in radiation. There's generally 3 lines of tension that most women will feel. The first is in the chest area. The second is in the underarm area, and that can go down the torso as well. And then the third area is in the back of the shoulder. This is part 1 in a 3-part series on stretching after breast cancer surgery and treatment, and this video covers the chest area. Hi, I'm Erica. I'm a breast cancer thriver and a chiropractor. Let's first test the tension in your chest with these 2 movements. The first one, you're going to be lying on your back, and your hands are going to be interlocked behind your head. You're going to lower your elbows down to the floor and try to relax into that position. How much tension do you feel in your chest in this position? The second one, you're going to lie on your back with your arms by your side with your palms facing up. Can you move your arms in an arc with your arms staying on the floor the whole time to end up with your arms by your ears? If you found either of these movements challenging in terms of your range of motion, or you had pain or tightness doing them, then this video will help. There are many causes of tension to the chest area throughout the treatment process. So the first would be the surgery itself. So if you had a lumpectomy or a mastectomy, there's going to be some tension just from the incision site. If you had tissue expanders or implants placed at the time of your mastectomy, this would also cause some tension in that area. If you had those placed under the muscle, because that chest muscle is now stretched because they're sitting underneath, and there would be more tension with that. Lymph node removal also causes tension in the chest area, even though the lymph nodes are removed further over in the underarm area. But everything is connected in the body, so there is a bit of tugging from that area, and then often goes into sort of the side of the chest area. One of the side effects of lymph nodes being removed is cording, where you'll see that cord that goes all the way down the arm and then often into the chest. Then you'll also feel a pull in the side of that chest area. There are side effects from radiation, something called radiation fibrosis. So this is sort of a tightening and hardening of all the tissues that were in the radiated field. So the chest, basically from the midline all the way across, is generally in that radiated field. And lastly, weak muscles just from disuse. And so these muscles usually become tight because they're weak. When can you start these stretches? At about 4 to 6 weeks after surgery. Check with your healthcare team on when it's right for you to begin. If you are feeling quite a bit of tension in your chest area, it's important to note that a combination of doing the stretches plus the rehab exercises, the strengthening movements after breast cancer surgery, and combining this with some sort of manual or hands-on treatment will always yield the best results. If you do each of them alone, so stretching alone, strength exercises alone, or treatment alone, you won't see the same results. The first stretch is a doorway pec stretch. There's 2 variations for this one. One is a straight arm and the second is a bent arm. So you're going to place your hand on a door frame or just simply on a wall, and you're going to turn your body slightly away from your hand, and you'll feel a stretch across the chest area. The exact location of the stretch will be different for everyone. Some women will feel it more in the sort of center chest area. Others will feel it more to the outside of the chest, sort of into the arm. And then some will feel it all the way down the arm. All of those are normal if you feel any of those locations stretching. You can hold about a minute and do some deep belly breaths throughout this stretch just to let the tissues let go further. You can alter the position of your hand on the wall to target different lines of tension through your chest. So try to start out with your arm a little bit higher, and then try a few positions in that range, and then move your arm down on the wall a little bit lower and see which positions produce the most tension. The second option is doing this stretch with a bent arm. So it's the exact same as the straight arm version. You're going to put your hand on the wall, but this time your forearm is also on the wall, and then you're going to turn your body away from the wall. You can also alter the position in the bent arm version where you're raising it up a little bit higher and then try down lower and see which position again yields the most tension to stretch that area out more. You want to watch with both options that shoulder doesn't roll forward as you're rotating your body away. So try to keep that shoulder back as you're doing this stretch. The second exercise is a side lying pec stretch. And again, there's two options with this one, a bent arm and a straight arm. You're going to lie on the ground with your affected side up. Start with your arm straight out in front of you, and then you're going to move your arm as far back as you can go. You can hold about a minute, and like the last stretch, do deep belly breathing throughout this stretch. You'll likely feel the tension in similar places to the previous stretch. You can alter the position of your arm so that it's closer towards your ear or your feet, just to target different lines of tension in the chest. If you had a double mastectomy like me, you'll likely notice that there's quite a difference in terms of tension between the two sides. On the side where my lymph nodes were removed, there's much more tension in the whole chest area as compared to the other side. If you're finding value in this video so far, hit that like button below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. The third stretch is called Snow Angels, and there's a few different variations for this one. The first one, you're going to start on your back. You can place your arms near your sides with your palms up and your arms straight. Hold this stretch here for about 20 to 30 seconds. Then you're going to move your arms further away from your side and then hold this position just like the last one. You can do this at 5 to 8 different positions along the Snow Angel arc. So starting at your side first, and then you're going to move your arms up, and then you would eventually end up with your arms overhead. Once you have full range of motion on the floor with not too much tension, you can progress this stretch onto a foam roller or some sort of elevated surface like the side of the bed or couch. I didn't have too much of a difference when I did this stretch on the floor, but once I moved it to a foam roller, it was different from side to side. So the side where I had lymph nodes removed and radiation was much tighter. I would sort of get into position, and then I would need to just sort of settle there, and then eventually that side would lower down, but it still never felt quite like the other side in terms of tension. The next variation is similar to the previous one, except your arms are going to be bent on this one. You'll start in one position and then go through those 5 to 8 different positions throughout the Snow Angel arc, and you can hold about 20 to 30 seconds for each one. If you're finding that one or two of those areas are much tighter than the others, then I would just hang out there a little bit longer and spend more time on that stretch. Just like the straight arm version, once this bent arm version gets easier on the floor, you can hop onto a foam roller to progress this stretch. The difference for me side to side once I was on a foam roller was again quite obvious with this bent arm version on the side that had lymph nodes removed and radiation. The next variation for the Snow Angel is doing it dynamically rather than holding those static positions. And you're going to slowly move your arms through the entire Snow Angel arc with your fingers brushing the floor throughout the movement. You can go back and forth, starting arms at the side to overhead about 5 to 10 times. There are quite a few options for the Snow Angel stretch, and you don't need to do all of them on the same day. These just give you options to change things up to target the tissues in different ways. This next video covers stretches to address pain and tension in your underarm area. See you there.